Conwell was just saying he saw one of our saddles down on the mainland.
I'm going to ask my daughter to go and join me.
Oh, Oriole?
Yes.
Can you please talk to Callan and see if she knows anything about what might have happened?
I'm going to have you roll entice.
May I use wild friends? And may I speak to the griffins? And may I ask them if they saw anything like super sus yesterday?
When you left after Callan, a little mouse appeared, and I don't know how to say this, but I don't feel comfortable with you being our representative. Well, with this being decided...
Yeah, have fun. And then she gets up and walks out.
We're in the middle of a animal-based investigation.
Head very close to the floor. She's trying to get as close to mouse level as she can.
As you hear a screech from the kitchen, what does Manth and Katinka do?
I'm going after the mouse.
As you head down to the basement, you see a mouse looking around frantically, transmorphs into a rather large, orcish woman who goes, "Well, I guess the jig's up, huh?"
Oh. Yeah, I told you it wasn't a mouse.
With the hanger underneath the off-till manor open, you can feel the rush of wind coming through your hair, and it is blowing through this orc's hair like a son of a bitch. It is blowing so good. Maybe she's born with it, or maybe it's just the Medillic winds, man, because she is as fierce as she is fearsome. She stands at about 6'8", sinewy arms with a rather toothy grin and a scar over her left eye. She is positioned right in front of the cargo or loading bay for all of the food that gets transported up and goods and services that get transported up to Off-Till Manor. And I think with Off-Till Manor being a little bit... not a little bit, a lot higher than the island of Medillic, the scene behind the woman is breathtaking, as Medillic always is. You can see the transformation falls and the white plume of water as it rushes down and splashes back up. You can see in the distance many winged creatures flying and living their aerial lives above the water. Maybe some of them are wild griffins, or maybe they're wyverns. Who knows at this distance? You have a giant orc woman in front of you. With that being said, I would like to ask the players, how did they feel the first time they saw this view? Minus the orc woman. The first time they saw all of the creation seemingly under their feet. How did they feel?
Huh?
I'll go if you want.
Yeah, I can take it.
I think for Oriole, because she wasn't, like, raised in this, she aspired to this, and, you know, she grew up firmly on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having this view and seeing the just endless beauty of Medillic and being what she is in a nature witch, I think it's very overwhelming and very just literally breathtaking.
That is wonderful. Does she get that sense every time that she takes wing with a griffin?
Yes.
Is that why she loves griffins as much as she does, or is it something else?
It's a separate thing, but it facilitates her to see this splendor and just understand the natural beauty of the world that she was blessed to be born into.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much, Oriole. And in case you want a little bit more of a reference, like when you think of Medillic, think of a place that is in perfect harmony of greens and blues. There is, if anything, there is always life here. It doesn't have to struggle. It doesn't have to exist in spite of. It exists because all things tend towards life on Medillic. With that, either Captain Manth or Katinka, who would like to go next?
I can go. Terrified. Captain Manth, not a fan of heights.
Ooh, I love this.
Love it.
Which is also why she's not a super fan of flying on the griffins. Her griffin named Griffin, it's a bit more of a, chill older griffin, probably because it also doesn't like zoom super high in a terrifying way. So she has to kind of, swallow it whenever she needs to be following Katinka, who loves it.
Thank you so much, Captain Manth. Katinka?
If you'll allow me to wax a little poetic, perhaps here, Katinka was born to this, unlike, I guess, both of them. Not only to Media Lake itself, but at the Offtel Manor, which is on a floating island, like slightly above everything. So for her, the ground being beneath her was always a little bit second nature. Of course, the world is filled with beautiful tropical jungles surrounding seemingly infinite pools of red-violet water that's so clear you can see the coral and the fish like inside of it, right? Of course, that's just the way the world is, but the first time that she was allowed to ride a griffin by herself, I think, was really the first time it took her breath away. Because it's not just being alone up there. You're never alone up there. You have a griffin with you. But you're as alone as you're going to get, with all the beauty of Onisino spread out beneath you. And there's a freedom to that. And I mean, especially considering that, her in griffins, she's always been exceedingly skilled at it, even without trying, much less after the countless hours of her life that she has spent training with them. It just felt as natural as breathing to her. It still does. She still loves it, no matter how many doubts have been sown in the back of her head.
And one of those sowers of doubts, one may suspect, is the orcish woman who is right there. She checks back behind her as if you can sense that she's keeping her scarred eye open for something. What would the three of you like to do?
I believe we said that there's a door, a hatch enclosing the space, or there should be, because otherwise the island would be buffeted.
Buffeted?
Oh, that was what you were saying. Like, the air getting into this cavern is not a good idea. Not for long, anyway. So Katinka, I think, would dive for that mechanism.
Okay, if she wants to dive for that mechanism, give me a
Defy disaster, maybe? I don't know.
I feel like defy disaster, especially considering what the hatch can do if fully opened, would be a good choice here.
And to be clear, she's wanting to close that door, not open it.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So with that, with the woman in front, with the orcish woman and you kind of in competition for this because she defo wants to open that hatch, roll me your defy disaster.
Okay, would this be swiftness?
And then before you roll, also, I think going this route is also risky because one of the aspects of this is say what you're willing to sacrifice to make this move. And then if you get less than 10, it's GM will offer you a hard choice or success with the sacrifice. So
yeah,
just as long as you are aware what you're getting into.
Say what you're willing to sacrifice and pick your approach. Oh, okay. It's whatever you use as your approach, I guess, is also the sacrifice.
It seems like they could be related, like if you're running and the sacrifice is slipping and falling and losing something, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure here what connection they're expecting you to make.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I would think it would be courage that I would sacrifice, because if this doesn't work, it's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. We'll figure out what happens with that. That is, yeah. I don't know. And I'm trying to remember what the hell I roll. Is it like 1 die or
No.
2d6, and then you get plus or minus depending on which of the versions you chose.
That's an 8.
Oh, so you rolled a 6. Well, good thing that you defied disaster with that one. Okay, so with that 7 to 9, I get to offer you a hard choice, or you get to make the success with a sacrifice. Okay. Let me think about this for a moment. So, with Defy Disaster, you can achieve what you want, which is to get there in time and close it. The hard choice that I would give to you is, I think right now you are feeling really bad about your mother taking your place in the Griffin games. You had one slip up. This has affected you a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say you can either choose to succeed and take a sacrifice, and the sacrifice is your arm gets wounded, making it harder for you should you take part in the Griffin games later or be tasked with doing something involving that, would make that task harder for you, or you can preserve that limb and keep the hatch open.
I think she takes the hit.
Okay, so with her deciding to take the hit, yeah, you get there quickly enough to close it. However, this woman, you are a halfling, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, there is quite a giant discrepancy between the two of you. And with the rapidity of your movement, you are able to sneak through and get to the hatch, close it. However, this woman brings her arm down heavy on you and hits you in the back of the shoulder, and you hear a pop sound as she curses and goes, okay, now I'm kind of getting mad. With that, this would either be Captain Manth or Oriole, whoever would like to go next.
I do think y'all hear, like, I am not going to scream. But there is a short scream, and she like grabs her arm and like is starting to like kind of scuttle away like on her butt.
Oh.
Actually, hell, it's probably just a loud scream. She's not used to this. She's a fucking princess.
And during this, Captain Manth is kind of frozen in fear until the door is closed, and then that is what might snap her out of this.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, if you miss this next roll, you're definitely going to get a condition, Manth, but I'm not doing that.
But I'm going to wait for Oriole to make a move first. So it like basically Oriole moving is what gets Manth back in focus with whatever Oriole does. I'm assuming there's a move involved. What if she just stands still for no reason?
Just like, hey,
License to chill, if you'd like.
Who am I to try and predict your actions?
So let's see. Hang on. I'm trying to find something. So I will. Okay. So if I may, I would like to, or I would like to dart forward to just try and reach out to this orc woman to touch her anywhere, doesn't matter where, anywhere on her person, and would try to use nature's touch.
I think that's a very cool play. Give me that roll.
So then if I roll between 7 and 9, I get to choose between 3 options. One would be they answer one of the figure out a person questions of your choice, or else they take a condition. That is 9 plus 2 for 11. So I get to choose. So I get a 10 plus. So it's 10 plus. So I get to choose 2. So I want her to answer, what does she hope to get from Katinka? And how could I get you to stop?
It looks like they must answer one of the figure out a person questions.
Oh, one. Okay. And then the other one, you know what? And then I'll give this bitch a string. She can be beholden to me. So we have a string now, she and I.
Are you basically using magic to get her to talk? Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah. Oh, fun.
Or she can choose not to answer and take a condition. Okay, what do I think this orcish woman does? Because she rains her giant fist down on Katinka's shoulders, and you hear a pop sound. Next up, as Manth is frozen in place by their fear of heights, Oriole rushes in and gives her a touch to...
And she just grabs her hand, her like free hand.
Oh, maybe after she punched down on Katinka, the other arm was raised to bring down again, and that's when you grabbed her.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to give up the game. I think the moment that you touch her, you understand something about her. I'm going to, if everyone's cool with this, I think like when you grab her or when you touch her, like I feel like you use spirit on this, right? I feel like you almost make like a spirit to spirit or soul to soul connection for just the briefest of moments where like, I think in you, this woman may have seen somebody who may have understood her, but she refuses the call and she is willing to take the condition. And the condition that she is going to take is... I think she's going to take an insecure condition. So as the magic, what does your magic look like when you use it?
I like to think that her magic is very, very much representative of Mediling. I think that it's just that like tropical green, that very lush green color. That just is vibrant and just speaks to life.
I love that. I think that's a perfect color to choose for this. As your hands reach out and grab her arms, your spirits touch for just a moment, and that green goes around her. However, she refuses the call towards life. And she looks at you, and as she looks at you, there is this...
Do I magically learn her name? So I don't have to call her orc woman in my notes.
Well, I don't think magic gets named that easy. But I will say that, like, as she looks back at you and here's the question that you were asking in her head, it looks for all the world that she is going to remain as fierce as she was when she attacked Katinka. However, as you two hold eyes, you can see that she looks away for a moment and her eyes become downcast, afraid of being seen by somebody. Okay, with that, Manth, seeing this happening, what would you like to do?
I'm going to shoulder charge forward, like sword drawn, but kind of like held down. If it's a clear field, it's basically like scraping against the floor, and I'm just bowling forward, shoulder first, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, I love this for you. So you're going to fight.
I'm going to fight. I'm going to do a fight move. Yeah.
So you're going to go with... forgive me, but you don't strike me as a graceful fighter.
No, I'm more throwing hands than dancing feet. So
you're going to be rolling with daring, Manth?
Rolling with daring, yeah. So I rolled a 7, and then my daring is 2 for a total of 9.
Okay, so you get in that second portion, which is choose 2, and your opponent gets to choose 1. Okay,
right.
So what 2 would you like to do?
So the options for those at home: flirt or provoke opponent through violence or cutting words, inflict a condition, create an opportunity for an ally, or take an object from your opponent or seize a superior position. So what was the orc holding? Or I can't remember now if you said that she was armed or just kind of like fucking around with that door or what.
She did have she was fucking around with that door. It seems like she had an idea to get out.
Yeah.
However, it seems like this has been cut off from her. I will say you get to choose two of these. I will say to use if you choose to use create an opportunity for an ally here, I would say that your charge weakens her will enough so that she answers the question mentally that Oriole is asking, but you don't have to do that. Or to get us to seize a superior position, you can knock them further away from the hatch. So even if, let's say, they were to endure this round and keep coming, they wouldn't have access to the door for the next round of combat.
That's great. That was assuming they weren't holding a weapon. Then that's what I wanted to do. That's hence the shoulder charge, is to knock them prone and away from the terrifying yawning abyss, mere feet behind me, with just a door that's not even latched, saving me from that. So so we'll take a tumble, and then no specific narrative description of creating the opportunity for the ally, other than just, I don't know, her going ass over tea kettle and rethinking some things as far as why she may or may not choose to reveal information.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to reveal what action she takes against you after we resolve this with Oriole and what we have between the two of them. So ask your question again, Oriole.
I think I'll ask her what she wants from Katinka.
I don't think you hear anything. I think you see images in your head of a newly ascended house, and you see a large orcish woman sitting atop a rather large sum of money. Her current condition doesn't really speak to her currently having. You would guess that this person's probably gun for hire. But as Manth, you crash through, shoulder charging this person as they were trying to resist Oriole's touch. She does catch herself enough in this moment to whisper in your ear as you both fall to the ground. Took her guard long enough to act, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. So that's the cutting words inflicting a condition.
Oh, indeedy do, my friend. And you are going to be getting the guilty condition currently.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Bong. That was me clicking the checkbox.
Okay. With that, Katinka, seeing Manth and this giant orc woman crashing to the ground further away from the hatch, and you suffering an injury, what would you like to do?
I'm not sure what to call this in this system, but I think what she's going to do is, like, holding her arm, she's going to, like, scramble up the stairs, at least, like, get up, like, jog up the stairs as much as she can, and just scream at the top of her lungs, like, I don't do screaming very well. I'm not even going to try it, but guards to what would this we call it? Guards to the dock. So this is kind of help of the masses. Like she is yelling it like she would on a freaking battlefield, like she was trained to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is call to the masses one of your things?
It's a heroic aspect. I don't know what that does. Like, it doesn't seem to do much of anything except push me towards something. But
so what this does it'll give you a +1 forward. So that means that on your next roll that you have to make, it will give you a +1 to that. And if you acted in accordance to your tragic aspect, you would get a +1 XP. as well as a +1 forward. So great. I love that. So you call for the guards and you call for them in the way that an off-till can, which is full of authority, I'd say.
All right. Promise not to make fun of me, and I'm going to give this a shot.
I will not make fun of you.
I'll make fun of you.
I know you will.
I'll hold judgment. I'll wait to see how you pull it off.
Now I'm psyching myself out.
Don't psych yourself out. Just go for it.
Guards to the dock!
That's awesome. Yeah. And we're definitely going to isolate that in big and
Not very authoritative, but it's good enough. We'll go with it.
Absolutely.
She's also a halfling who's really hurt right now.
Okay. As I was going to say Luwewe, as Katinka makes the smart play to call in reinforcements, that leaves Oriole right here, right now. Oriole, what would you like to do? Or Manth, you guys can still go in whatever order you wish to.
Yeah, I don't mind doing just like we're doing, because I think narratively, again, it's kind of, we can mix it up a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like my move helped Oriole's move get pulled off, and does it matter if one happened before the other? No, because it just kind of all, it's all a big thing that we're kind of weaving together here.
Maybe this is the D&D in me, but I just imagine it's all kind of happening, like overlapping. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so too. I think that it's
All right. Did we establish that my griffin is my familiar, or do I have a different familiar?
I don't think we established if your griffin was your familiar.
Because I have a familiar.
Yeah, I would think that your griffin is not your familiar. Just like I could do loyal steed, but that wouldn't necessarily be the griffin, or it would have to be upgraded in some way.
Maybe I see. Okay. Considering this is a Nisano, I would propose that your familiar is a fae, but it's a fae that takes the form of a griffin.
Like just a tiny little griffin.
Yeah, just like a little cat-sized griffin that's like see-through and
adored.
Oh God, I want this, please. Can I have it, Elliot? Can I?
So a cat-sized griffin? Yeah, absolutely.
A griffin kitty, aka a gritty.
Oh my God. Even better. I want a tiny little gritty on my
write this down. Griffins are now a thing that exists. Gritties are now a thing that exists.
Canon.
So if I have my familiar, which I can speak to, I have my loyal familiar. I can perceive the world through its senses whenever you choose and communicate with it at any distance. But I would just be with.
And you could also get, if you did like a fight move, you could get +1 with.
It'll just blink in.
Is it? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
There's just like a poof of like purple sparkles, and now you have a purple sparkle griffin like in the room.
Yawning and stretching. Oh!
It reminds me of like what is it in the is it Morph in Treasure Planet?
Yes, Morph.
The equivalent of that. But I would like to, if guards are coming, guards are coming. I would, given where we are, I would like to have my familiar book it to the stables and try and get the griffins to come here, just in case.
Like outside the hatch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Outside that, just in case. Yeah.
So you want to rally your familiar to...
Rally the steeds!
I figure the griffins would be familiar.
Okay, great. So...
a full griffin flight, because the whole stable's just going to be like, rawr!
Yeah. Have you seen the griffins? They're just such beautiful creatures and so intelligent, and they'll save us no matter what. Don't you worry.
And so, does that require a roll, or is that just a thing that happens?
I believe it's just a thing that happens.
I think this is firmly falls into the DM's discretion pile.
But if you would like me to roll, I will do whatever you would like me to do.
No, I mean, like, you guys are on your home turf. This would make sense to me that you guys get these. If this was you guys were playing an away game, it may be a little bit more difficult. But since this is your spot, yeah, I think the Griffins are not yet here because your familiar has to go a bit of ways to get them, but they are going to be on their way. With that, Manth, what would you like to do?
Well, boy, do I hate to even say this out loud. Did the orc lady take her turn?
She did. She whispered in your ear, remember?
Yeah, well, that was a reaction to my fight move. So that's like, I attack, I get to do two things to her, she does one thing back to me. That's like a freebie. A similar thing could happen if she attacks me or someone else. They can do, depending on the roll, a thing back automatically.
I thought that was her taking her turn. Okay.
No, yeah, that's just like a baked into the basic move. So
Right.
she gets to do a move or an action, or if she has powers or whatever.
With the hatch closed, which would have been just an easy place for her to like escape through. Well, if we're not going to do it the easy way, we're going to have to do it the hard way. And suddenly you feel a large crash against the door here, as if a large vessel is trying to puncture its way through the dock, the closed dock, to retrieve this person. The prow of a ship has dented deep in the metal.
It's just a prow-shaped dent with the full like the mermaid or whatever they have on the front of the ship. It's like cartoony,
Yeah.
just perfectly shaped.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. But with that, yeah, you can see that a chance for her to escape may develop. So we have several different things working against each other. We have a group of guards who are going to be hustling their way to take care of the Katinka. We have Griffins who are going to try to stop an escape attempt. We also have some people with a ship who are going to crash into this place if they can to retrieve this person. Manth, what would you like to do?
Oh, so that's her move is nothing. It's that this thing happened. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't actually get to roll anything, so I can change up stuff like this.
Oh, she can't do. Your NPCs can't do fight moves.
No.
Oh, that's interesting. And I think in the other system, or the DM was just doing it.
Yeah,
they were allowed to avail themselves of either the basic moves or maybe they had their own special moves. So that's fascinating.
I mean, I kind of agree with Elliot's interpretation because they're moving in reaction to anything that we do. So
yeah, no, that's interesting.
So like when you guys fail something, then that will be a clear advantage to them. So it's all based on your movements. So, but with that, Manth, what would you like to do?
I'm going to point my sword at her neck while she's still on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And stand on one of her arms. I don't know. Why not? Just make the point stronger. And then I'm going to try to do a figure a person out move.
Okay.
It's a threat.
Yeah. And then we'll see. I'll roll and then we'll see how it narratively looks. This isn't necessarily my strong suit because it's wit. Oh, I guess I have a 1 in wit, so it's not so bad. It's the emotional stuff that I'm really bad at. Okay. So I rolled real bad. I rolled a 3.
Woof.
So I don't know what the downbeat of a figure of person out is. But for me, I'm just jumping up to her, grabbing my sword, standing on her. And since it doesn't matter, I don't think I'm going to get a question answered. I'm just shouting, "Who said you?"
So, because you got a 3, you were in the downbeats.
I do get an experience point for a downbeat, though, I think. Right?
You finally get an experience point because you were succeeding too hard, bud.
I got 2 of the freebies for the end game last time, but yeah, this is my first earned through failure.
Which I kind of love for you.
Yeah.
But I love for me more. I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And then after this, I have a flavor thing, maybe mechanical thing from my playbook that we can address.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Okay. So I think, yeah, here's what I'm going to have happen. So as you try to like get them to tell you anything, they're like, "You want to know my name? Here's my name," she says, as she hits the inside of your knee, buckling it as you fall, and your blade stabs down right where the ship tried to breach into here, causing a hole to open up. You feel the rush of air as it just leaches into here. With that being said, you have now opened up a weakness in the dock, and unfortunately for you, canonically, you are frightened by heights. Guess what you see as you come crashing down and stab your sword through this weakened piece of metal? You see
a soft meadow field. Oh,
miles and miles and miles and miles and miles away. So, Manth, you're going to be taking the frightened condition from this. So that will give you a -2 to fight. So you have a -2 to fight, and you also have a -2 to emotional support currently.
If you're at the end of the move, I was going to add in a thing before we move on from this. So on one of the things on my playbook says, "What will you fight for?" When you do the figure out a person move during physical conflict, you may additionally ask one of these questions, even on a fail roll on a 6 or less. And so one of them is, what are you willing to risk death for? So I'm just going to weave that into this. During the fight, you're shouting, you're yelling, and I'm picturing it where I'm saying something along the lines of, you'd risk your life for this, to sabotage this event? I don't know. The games. And then in what I'm picturing, not that Manth is picturing this, I'm saying me as a person outside of the game is picturing the orc basically answering the question by rejecting my premise. Like, you'd risk your life for this? And then she's like, I'd only risk my life for X. None of this is necessarily relevant. It's more just like flavor for the combat.
No, I think that's very good. I like that quite a bit. The only thing that I would add is I do feel like when you ask that, there is like a glimmer of her wondering if she is really willing to die for this right now.
Sure, I'll take it.
Because she is currently under the insecure condition. However, her training kicks in. She kicks out your leg, causing you, and we can even say that's the reason that you didn't do so well on this. You were like, are you willing to die for this? As I think you see that moment of pause in her eyes before they turned cruel again, and she kicks your leg out from out your leg, causing you to stab down into the weakened metal, causing that to rift to open with a frightened condition. Your just reward. And
perfect.
With that, I think you would know. I think all of you would know. You hear the huffing of the guards. Basically, you know, she has this turn to get out. If she doesn't, she's going to get captured.
And so what she's willing to risk death for is money, and they're paying her enough money to risk her life.
It would appear so.
Okay, yeah. No, well, I get to know so, because I got to move, motherfucker.
That's true. Yes, you know.
My playbook says I get to learn.
You get to know this. Yeah, she would. However, she's reconsidering now that death isn't so far away.
Hey, I got to learn these secrets because that's how you leverage it against them later. It's one of these kinds of games.
Absolutely. That's what strings are for.
Yeah, I'm gonna string you.
Let me see if I understand the layout of what is happening here. So we go down some stairs. there is a dock here, which I'm just going to imagine as like a U shape. There's a hatch. I was envisioning the hatch as being vertical, but I'm guessing it's not.
I had the hatch as being on the ground so that you could quickly go down a ladder to get to a ship that's docked underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is,
but there's a bow of a ship that piercing through it, and it's horizontal.
That is coming from underneath to breach out from underneath you. And that's why when Manth fell, they cut through that piece of weakened metal. So the ship came up from under, like it tried to jaws this.
Okay. So she's on top of it essentially currently.
Mm-hmm. But she only has this last round to get out, or else she is definitely caught because of your reinforcements that you have called.
Okay. All right. What I was going to do isn't going to work.
Also, I just want to say I'm glad that you clarified this, because I think you were picturing it as almost like a garage door sliding up and down.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what to think of this. I was like, garage door moment.
I was picturing it as a sliding door left and right. So there are a lot of different, not that any of this specifically matters, but it's very funny. Like, floor door was not on my list.
Yeah, I know, same. Like, floor door was also not on mine.
It's attached to you people. It's in the floor.
And when you're talking about a cave, I don't know, because you can do a hatch in various ways. Like on a ship, a hatch is a door. Like,
but I love that shift of like, okay, yep, got a different picture here. It all still works.
Okay, but anyway, point is, but I heard that about money, though, correct?
No.
Okay.
You didn't hear any about that.
Well, so this is, I don't know where Elliot landed on it, but for me, when I did the thing at the end for the learning about them, that is like an out loud thing. I'm like, you would risk your life just for this? And I'm picturing her saying, yeah, if the money's good, or like they paid me enough, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's actual transfer of information happening. But I'm not the GM, but that's what I was imagining the scenario, the exchange was like.
Yeah.
You ran up, right, to get to call out to the guards?
I ran like slightly up the steps with the doors open, so I'm still in the room, was my understanding, just on the stairwell.
Right. However, there was a lot of activity happening at the same time that you were calling, because we were saying that everything happened simultaneously.
Elliot, let her cook. Let's see how she can fix this just by knowing that this woman's motivated by money.
And it's like, but I don't want to. Ray always does this. Ray always does this to me. How dare you?
I really want to see like what can be done with this information.
Well, I think either way, like Katinka having called for the guards, hears them vaguely coming, and even if she doesn't hear, she's going to trust that they're fucking doing their job and rushes back down, because she still has people down there, enough to see like Manth like get tossed and like again staring into the abyss. Like Manth. Manth has been the captain of the guard here for a while. I think she knows that Manth is not the best with heights. Like, probably doesn't know that she's like phobic, but
It's for sure come up.
Like, the captain has always been a little iffy about being on Griffin back and that kind of thing. A little green around the edges at the docks. That kind of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll let you cook. What you hear that?
Oh, okay. All right.
And now I want this to all be solved by knowing this information, and for me to go, wow, Elliot was right to try to keep this from her. No wonder he's afraid of her as a player.
Well, I hope this isn't coming off as me like just trying to be a dick.
No,
I am trying
to be clear. Elliot,
all this.
You're being good in adhering to like the logic of the situation, not to advantages or disadvantages.
Yeah, no. It's not that. I'm also scrambling, going, oh, what the hell can she do when I don't have any kind of like combat rules in front of me? I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. And trying to actually use the moves instead of just role playing.
It's tricky because like you could just do like I'm gonna try and tie her legs or grab her head or whatever, but there's no moves for anything that you would think of. It would just be this like free form, I'm gonna try and do this, and then Elliot has to figure out how you would roll for it if that's available. You know what I mean? Short of like a move from your list that's got a specific action.
Right. Yeah. So like this is like, we're kind of all free flowing right now. So but let's see what you got with this information that you're armed with.
So what I'm seeing here is Katinka comes like back down the stairs, still holding one of her arms, in time to see Manth get flung. And so like the woman like now standing over her, I think, or like starting to get to her feet, like rolling to her feet. When you hear, and then she kind of like she's just staring at this woman, and then straightening up, like locking her jaw into place, trying to do her usual like, I am princess, I am in charge of this routine. And kind of glances at the semi-broken hatch and this woman. Guards are on their way. If you want money, we can talk money. I'm willing to let you flip.
Let's try to entice her.
Okay. So I'm going to use my +1 forward, and that's a 9.
And then did you add your heart?
I don't have a heart modifier, so.
Oh, no! It's a good roll, though.
You have a string on them already, or no? That's
Oriole.
Oriole has a string
I
on them.
could gain a string on her somehow, but
Yeah, you gain the string on her right now.
Unless she does one of these 3 things.
Unless she chooses to promise something they think you would want, which I don't think she has. Does she give in to desire?
Well, actually, she did just ask for something she wants, literally. She asked her to flip.
Right.
Right, she could not get the influence from Katinka, and then it just says promise something. It doesn't say do it. You know what I mean? Like,
this is very true. This is very, very true. Okay.
But she has an opportunity for money here either direction, and she could very well be boned in this situation.
Okay. All right.
Or she doesn't know that we have griffins coming outside either, so...
But I don't think the griffins know that there's a ship out there either, so there could be
they know that there's something...
They know something's going on.
Mm-hmm. Jim Griffin thing may be a wash. Nobody
Oriole
knows.
I know.
Okay. What? Yays?
I'm gonna be a shit. Can I be a shit and grab her again and try to use nature's touch again to make her answer my question? While she's distracted?
You can certainly try.
I would like to try. And that's my spirit. Do. That's 5, 6, 7, 8 total. Toto. So I will once again make her answer a figure person out question. Or she has to take a condition. This time I will ask her how could I get you to stop?
Good question.
Well, I love it when a plan comes together. because what you could do to get her to stop is the very thing that she is going to promise Katinka. Promise Katinka with her entice roll, which is get me to stop. You just gotta give me some gold, and if you want me to flip, as long as it's worth that money, yeah, I'll flip. As as I think, Manth, you can see that the ship is about to ram again as griffins start to round the corner, and the guards have now come through the door. They number in, and these are your guards, so you would know that they are fucking good at their job. You can see that 10 are here, and she looks around, considers her options, and she goes, "Yeah. How about that?" Guards walk away. I call off my people. Is that a fucking griffin?
Yeah. Yeah, those are griffins.
So,
This is how this is going to work. What's your name?
we finally unlocked the mystery.
God damn it, I can change it from Orcon. I should have a string with this woman. I want to know her name.
Do you want to know her name?
I do.
My name's Kush.
God damn it.
I hate you.
Okay, Kush.
The Kush with the care.
You're being taken into custody. You will not be harmed. We will have a conversation. And when we're done with that, we'll discuss pay.
All right. You send your guards away. I'll send the ship away, she says as she produces a stone.
Yeah. As I said, you're going into custody.
I'll go into custody with you three, but I will have these guys ram again if we don't make it a little bit of a fairer sort of playing field.
Is there... Oh, God, I wish there were an insight check here.
I mean, you can try to suss out a person.
I can. Is that like let's figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hate the whole ask them questions, because that, to me, that sounds like a conversation. But I'm gonna try and figure her out real quick.
It seems like there's, I assume there's maneuverability in that. I think you and I did a figure out thing where it was completely non-verbal.
Yeah.
I think that's, again, GM's discretion.
Yeah, I mean, people can make insight checks on people, you know?
Yeah.
So, but under this, it would fall under figure it out.
But I am going to add in here, should we pause for Manth to do something if she's going to do something, or am I cool to just go ahead and do it?
Yeah, I would say do this, because I'm going to kick that fucking stone out of her hand real soon here.
Okay.
For good or for ill.
Hold on, figuring it out as wit. That's a 6. Actually, yeah, no, that's a 6.
Okay.
Although inescapable conclusions, so even on a 6 in a fight. Oh wait, yeah, even on a 6, I can ask one additional question from a list. That's fun.
So you get an experience point, but you get one question and a fail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One question and a what?
Well, it depends on what Elliot does to you. Give you a condition, or
Okay.
Oh, I know what it's going to be.
I'm trying to figure out something that really isn't on this list, but it's
right.
I guess, what are your feelings? What's her, I'm trying to suss out what her actual feelings are toward this, whether or not she's actually intending to flip, or whether or not she just wants the guards out of the room so she can jump on that ship and leave.
I mean, excellent question. As you're trying to suss her out, the two of you having a standoff, which is she's 6'7", you're 3'7".
I'm in the 3-4 range, tiny.
So it's a very big difference between the two of you. I think what you can gather from this person, Kush, is, and that's with a K,
Thank you.
is that she suspects her best move is to give you what you want and get the fuck out of Dodge.
Okay. And what horrible thing happens to me right now?
You hear your mother coming down the steps very quickly as she sees you holding your arm, trying to take over your princess. Because you did command the room in that moment. You absolutely did. You were the main negotiator between these two. However, unfortunately, your mother did not see any of that. Your mother sees you standing toe to toe with a giant orc woman, and you are holding your arm as she goes, no, as she ushers you away from this main area.
Mama, no, I've got it.
Nope. Look at how bad your arm is. And Manth, she says, as she looks at Manth, who's down. You were a captain once, she says, as she starts to usher her daughter away from this area.
I'm putting up a resistance to this. Like,
yeah, you totally can. So I'll have you make a tough decision here. So you can go path of least resistance. Your mother ushers you out. Or you can resist and take a condition. Whatever condition you think would be best, which might be angry.
Yeah.
I'm resisting. I'm like, Mom, you want me to show more responsibility? I have this.
Do you? As she points to your arm. It's very good that I decided to take over.
Just trust me for once. And then I'm going to pull out, I assume she grabbed my good arm, so I'm going to pull out of her grasp.
Your mother watches this as she says, don't forget, Katinka. Trust is earned, not given. As she walks away.
Go. Look at the guards, go. Back up the stairs until I call you. And then right over to Kush. I want their names.
Hello, and thank you for listening to this special presentation of What's Your Damage Long Shot, Thirsty Sword Lesbians Edition. Katinka Oftil was played by Ray Palmer, Oriole was played by Kate Ingram, and Captain Manth was played by Douglas Gale. The Game Master was Elliot Rose. Audio engineering was done by Elliot Rose, including sound effects and music.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. You can find more of What's Your Damage on Apple Music and Spotify, or on our website, wydpod.com. We've got maps, just gorgeous character art, and tons of lore for all needs to know. There's also going to be a sign up for our newsletter, which features content warnings for all episodes upon release, because we think that's super important. And for those of you that want to chat with us on social media, because you love us so much, you can find us at WYD Pod, and that's WYDPODD on Instagram and Threads, as well as a bunch of others listed on our website. In case you don't like those first two, you can find us elsewhere, because if there's a place to be, we're probably there already. So, please stop by, say hi. We would all genuinely love to hear from you.